So by now, I hope the picture is becoming more clear. The reason we looked at networks to begin with and then moved on to money is because Bitcoin sits square at the intersection of both of these things. You simply cannot have a thorough understanding of Bitcoin without first understanding what networks are and what money is at a very fundamental level. Now, many people miss what Bitcoin is for a variety of reasons, and I want to kind of explain one of my favorite analogies made by Spencer Bogart that helps explain why they miss it. And that is the tale of the platypus. So, when Europeans were first alerted to the existence of the platypus in 1798, residing in this far off land called Australia, many simply refused to believe that it could be real because such an animal defied all existing logic at the time. Specimens were shipped back to England. They were thought to be the product of various animals sewn together. It was seen as an elaborate hoax. It possessed the bill of a duck, the tail of a beaver, and the furry coat from an otter. It lacked any parallel in the animal world at the time. Offering an explanation, the Australian governor suggested that the platypus might be the result of, quote, a promiscuous intercourse between the different sexes of all these different animals, end quote. So, taking into account its attributes, you can't really blame them. I mean, this combination of characteristics just should not exist if you've never seen it before. And the discovery, well, it resulted in the addition of an entirely new branch on the evolutionary tree of mammals, that of the monotreme. So we see a similar skepticism when it comes to innovative technologies. Things that defy belief that all these parts could exist in one single thing. But that's the lesson innovation repeatedly teaches us, whether it's biological or technological. There are many angles to Bitcoin, which require time and effort to comprehend. Placing it solely in the category of money or software or a communications network, while technically correct, it misses a lot of nuance. Here is a great quote from Arthur Clarke, and he says, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. That really, to me, sums up why it's hard for people to comprehend breakthrough technologies. So just like the platypus, Bitcoin is also a category creator. It forces us to completely redraw the map. Now, you can't blame people. Again, it's just the natural human tendency to try to fit something novel into an existing category, when perhaps we'd be better served by expanding our system of classification altogether. Think of the smattering of labels and definitions given to Bitcoin by various regulators all over the world. It's a good example of this phenomena. So here's a nice quote from our Uncle Marty Bent. He says, Bitcoin is not a stock. It's not a startup or an investment fund. This is a completely different animal than the other types of assets that people are trying to compare it to. You need to view it through a different lens. So that's what we're going to do. And we are going to attack this challenge of trying to make sense of something so broad by breaking it down into what I like to use. It's three core elements. The first, which most people are familiar with, and it's usually people's first exposure to Bitcoin, is Bitcoin's native unit, that of the monetary unit. Next, there is the Bitcoin network. So that is all these independently run nodes connected to each other, forming a network. Remember, networks are the infrastructure that move things from A to B, and they are all following the rules of the Bitcoin protocol. So, this common piece of software. Lastly, Bitcoin's blockchain. So how does that play into these two existing pieces? Well, the blockchain is just a linked record of verified transactions where each node in the network holds and maintains a copy.